I'm Wafflestick, and welcome to another tutorial. I am going to be showing you how to make a traditional slime farm. It seems like a lot of people come to my channel looking for that, and I had thought, let's go ahead and do one. But the first thing you want to do is find a slime chunk, which you can do this by Slime Finder. You can Google that. I will be also leaving a link to that in the description below, along with Admist, which is like a software that you can use to find multiple things on your seed. In my case, this is where my slime farm is going to be, and we need to dig out that chunk. So this is a slime chunk, and you can either begin from the top to the bottom, or you can begin at level 43 and then go downwards until you hit bedrock, or a few layers up if you got to do some redstone right below that. But let's go ahead, jump into this, and go ahead and clear this whole chunk out. And to provide you with a guide, you can hold F3G, and this will show you the chunk borders, and you can get a good sense of where the chunk is. Right here is my chunk. I can just dig it out like this until we get to bedrock, which I'm going to be doing this one from all the way above. This is a fairly large area to work with. We have the whole slime chunk dug out all the way to this layer, a couple of layers above the void. And I wanted to mention, this is a 16 by 16, which is the regular chunk. The whole chunk should be able to spawn slime under Y level 40. However, do remember that you can push this out 3 more blocks on each side because we'll be needing a transportation system for the slime, and you can gain maximum efficiency. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to be building the farm in the 16 by 16 chunk. Let's go ahead and get started on the building. And also, before we do, make sure to light up your cavern systems in the area. Ideally, 128 by 128 blocks in the full diameter of what's around this. Beginning things off, you need to make a platform at the bottom. And we need to go ahead and fill this in as well, and probably go ahead and put some lighting in here. But you also need a 3 wide space on each side from your little farm area here in your first platform. So just make sure there's 3 blocks between the wall and the platform itself. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in, and we'll continue on. Now that we have built our platform, let's go ahead and throw in some torches to give it some light so that we will not make it an unintentional mob farm. You don't want a bunch of zombies in here and a bunch of other crap. Just go ahead and place your torches or pumpkins, and then from here, we're just going to do this. We're going to go 3 blocks up. Put a stone slab there, or any slab of your choosing, and then we're going to make this into a platform the same size as this. Do remember that you can use full blocks for this if you wanted to. You could do 2 block high platforms, but I personally like to use slabs to give slime more jumping room. And make sure this is an upside down slab, or you're going to have nothing to spawn on top of it. You can test this out by having a stone brick there. So if it were just a regular slab place here, then you would have a block floating like this, and you don't want that because, well, mobs or nothing can spawn on it. But that's the thing about torches. If you have torches in your slime farm, that's not going to affect spawning. So don't worry so much about that. Just make sure you have everything upside down. From here, we're going to continue up and build until we get to Y level 40. And make sure not to go above that, because once you go above 40, then slime will not be spawning. But I'm going to go ahead and continue this and see if I can get my platforms up to Y level 40. Platforms and torches have been put in place until we get to Y level 40, and this should operate quite well. From here, we're going to design the killing chamber before we go to the transportation system, because it's a little bit easier to work around with it first. So let's go ahead and get started with that. The killing chamber, it's fairly simple. You want to start out on the side of your slime farm that you want to receive your items, and where you want the slime to go to, well, drown. So this sounds kind of cruel, but we're going to start out with a centered 3 block design right here. So just go ahead and dig out 3 blocks to mark where you're going to have it, and then from here we need to dig us up 3 more blocks so that we do have a 4 block in height chamber. Take this back another block. I've got some bedrock I'm running into, but it's just a slight concern. Bring this 2 blocks back like that. And we have the first part of the chamber done. We just got to go ahead and put in the water system. and you've got to follow this pretty closely because if you mess up, then it doesn't work. Before you design that killing chamber though, I recommend you have an item collection system here or this farm would be totally pointless. You can also do 3 more hoppers here just to be safe about things. But right here is a double chest between these slabs so that water will not get in there. I had done this so that we can just go into the killing chamber and grab our stuff. But I do highly recommend that you do an item elevator of some sorts over here and pull all of the items to the top. Now we're just going to go ahead and work on that killing chamber, which is quite simple. We are going to take some signs like this and place them adjacent to this block, but 1 block down. Pull that down and then put a sign right here and just connect these from this wall to this wall. Okay, and then take a row of blocks and place them like this so that they are right behind the signs in the center of these blocks right here. Take water source and place it right here, and then we need to break these blocks. Now you have the drowning system for the slime. Let's go ahead and get started on the water transportation system so that we can actually get slime into here. The water transportation system that I use consists of a bunch of signs. I am going to be placing a couple of signs here and running these all the way to the wall. And we're going to be putting in a water source. So let's go ahead and take some signs and place them over. And then from here we can put 2 water sources right there. And this will be pushing the slime that way. Once you get to the point where the water ends, you can place a sign right above to this block. And right there. And then put 2 water sources right there so that it does continue on. Now do remember, slime are... Whoop, we should probably bring this over too. Is that the way the water is connecting? It's kind of strange. So the way slime swim, they'll just swim into this block. The bigger slime will be dragged into this water source. But some of the smaller ones will end up just jumping into it. So it worked either way. So from here, you will just want to continue this to over here, and then begin another water transportation right here. So just continuing it until it flows to these walls and to the center, and I will cut there. Okay, we are to this area here. Remember that you need some signs right here so that your water source will pull this way instead of going against the wall. So all slimes that come into this will be pushed here. Let's go ahead and place a couple more water sources there. Then from here, just take 2 water sources and place them next to the sign like that. And now you have a full water transportation system in place. And I'm going to go ahead and test this out with a spawn egg. But before we do get to that, I want to mention something just real quick. If you are building your slime farm and you end up having this to be centered with 4 blocks, an even number rather than the odd number, make sure to place some blocks back here, and that will fix your issue. So, you know, I would wait until slime spawned in, but we've got a spawn egg here. Makes things a little bit faster here in creative. See if we can get some bigger slimes in here. That would be awesome if we could. He's a little bit bigger. He's medium sized. There's a huge one, but he's getting smothered into the block. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's go ahead and do this right here. There we go. So there should be a bunch of slime heading down this way. We got some slime balls flying everywhere. They are being transported to our drowning chamber. Bunch of slime going in here, and these smaller slimes will end up going upwards. Like this one is stuck up in the corner, and he will end up drowning. The bigger ones may take a little bit more time because they got to break down. So if we're just kind of push this fellow in here, he's going a little bit slow. He's going to get trapped in there as well, but do remember if there is a bunch of slime there, they will kind of block each other until you get to the point where you have room in there. So this is a very easy system. It doesn't cost anything hardly. And do remember, if you stand on this bottom platform or anywhere in the area that they can see you and they aggro onto you, the process just becomes much longer. I'm going to go ahead, leave this behind, and say, hey, we did a job well done. So if you're interested in farms and just building in general, I do play on an SMP I own, the Waystone. Come over and check out some of our cool videos. We do have this slime farm here that I had built in the latest season. Very beautiful, making use of the concrete block. but a very repetitive sandstone. There goes the slime already, sweet. So this one is a 4-block wide one. That's why I had mentioned that you had to put that block back there. But guys, hope you did enjoy this tutorial, and we will be seeing you hopefully later down the road. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you later.